Hi! Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tip and guide into education. I know a lot of you guys have back to school nights. Next year there'll be open houses. Some of you are gearing up to start school, whatever it may be. This is a video to watch. So summer's over and you've just gotten that email or letter from your school that your child's about to start school year. Wow. For those of you parents who have children that are mainstream in general classes and they don't have any IEPs or special education, services that they need to go through, for those of you parents who have general education children, it's so easy to gear them back to school because, take a week prior, have them go to bed early, talk to them about school. If this is their first time going to school, read some books. There's all kinds of books on kindergarten, first grade, you name it, middle school, high school books. Go to your local library, check Amazon. There is Barnes & Noble, all kind of bookstores or libraries you can go to and check out books. Pardon me, my voice is a little bad today, but I was just getting over a little bit of a cold, cough, whatever you guys call it, allergies. So, pardon me on that one, but anyways, yeah. So a week prior to your child's start of school date, practice driving to school early, have them get up, maybe get them in a routine. If you're the kind of parent that's very organized, or you have maybe like OCD too organized, with your children already in a set schedule, then you guys are awesome, you're in good shape. This is the kind of parents we look for. With children that come to school ready, have already been prepared. If not, you can always set up, like, if I was a permanent teacher, let's say like K through 12th grade, or even for early ed, because that's my degree, I have early ed. If I was permanent, I'd allow parents and students to come maybe the day before they start school, check out the environment, see how we do nap, get to know the child, and really get to know them. And remember, their first day of any child's school, it's not going to be perfect because kids are, in a new environment, a new classroom, whatever it might be. You have a child, let's say in kindergarten, they're starting first grade. They're not going to be, maybe the school changed. They painted it over the summer or they updated some things. You have a new teacher, you're not seeing your familiar friends' faces, whatever it may be. Talk to your kids and sit down and, just really look at, all your schedules and everything. So that's just a little bit about getting ready for the first week of school. Now, for those of you parents who have kids with special needs, it's going to take some extra time getting used to them. So I would say instead of a week prior, like for general ed parents whose students are gen ed, I would say give your child about 2 to 3 weeks prior. Talk about school, their upcoming classes, maybe take them to school, have a reward system in place. And remember, you can always talk with teachers. When I used to be a special ed assistant, which I'll get into that job in a bit, but the teachers that I worked with, a lot of times they gave the parents of how to do a reward system to get them ready for school, dropping them off, picking them up. It was a routine. You want to keep that schedule and routine for kids because that's the most important thing, that you're going to want your child to, enjoy school, like going there and not feel like, oh my God, we had a kid literally at one of my schools. He ran in the morning and after school because the parents didn't prep him enough. The minute the teacher and I together talked to the parent and explained some tips they can do to get him ready and at home, the child went to school, he enjoyed it, he got rewards from us, from the parents at home. So it was a two-way system. And here's another great advice. Be your child's advocate and have a really good communication with the teacher. If you want to get to know him or her, talk to them maybe before school, after school, see how the child's doing, and stay connected. Now, there are families out there that are low income. They don't have access to emails, whatever it may be. Arrange for them. Maybe you have somebody in your family that speaks English or a translator, maybe once a month or every 2 weeks, you can meet with them after school, 5 minutes before 5 minutes class, really update the child and explain to them. And especially the homework. Make sure you understand your child's homework, the projects, everything that you're going to do, because the worst thing you don't want to do is go home and you don't understand what it says or how to do it. My parents, for example, English is their second language. Although my dad learned it in Russian by going to an English-Russian immersion school. He forgot a lot of it, so when we came to the U.S., he relearned it, and he gained the accent. Had he had practiced Russian at Russia with other Russian English speakers, then he would have maybe not had as much of an accent. My mom has an accent. Both of them are fluent in Russian and in English language. But because they didn't really, me growing up, understand a lot of my homework assignments, a lot of times I had to explain to them what it is that they're asking. And then my dad, from his memory of how to do math, science, history, and English stuff, he would help me. Well, everything, like they have Russian literature, we have English literature. They have Russian history, we had all of, our history. But what he learned is pretty similar to what we learned here. So he was definitely able to help me because we had translations back and forth. Then my grandma used a dictionary and teach me how to read English and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's something, if you don't know, get a dictionary, look online, ask a neighbor, any friend of yours that can help you. It's really, really good tips. Before we get into back to school night and open house, I thought I'd give you guys my 4 pet peeves about education. Number 1, it boggles my mind, and it's not me. When you take your profession to a whole new level and you start sort of, how do I best explain it? Okay, say for example, I am a teacher and then I work with assistants. I always tell my assistants, even though you are a teacher assistant, we work as a team, we're all teachers, kids should come up to us equally. There are certain things that they don't have to be responsible for that I'm in charge of, since I'm a teacher, things like talking to parents or whatnot. A lot of times in elementaries and centers for early ed, it's a different protocol, because a lot of times when you're a sub, you don't know the parents, you don't know the sign-in sheets very well. So your aides do help you in that sense, which is great. Thank you guys, I love you. When I used to be an assistant, I do whatever the teacher wanted me to do. I was basically the right wing. So now that I'm a teacher, I understand how both roles work. And that's the best part about my job, is that I've gotten to experience being an early ed teacher. And I've also gotten a chance for 3 years and a few months to be a special education assistant. The other cool part is, a lot of times when I go to school, I can help other teachers and assistants to be, how to deal with students of special needs, especially because you are going to get in early ed some kids that have IEPs, and they don't look like they have a disability, but they do. I do have to apologize why I have watery eyes. I'm not actually upset or crying. It's just that I have really, really bad allergies today because of the bad weather change. From being warm, hot, muggy, to rain and cold. So I do apologize that. Anyways, my nose too. I can't believe this is happening. Anyways, so that's my pet peeve number 1. Do your job like you're supposed to. Allow the person below you to do their job and really work as a team. Don't try to seem like, now that you're a teacher, you're important and that's all that matters, and the person below you is invisible, I work with classified office personnel. They're amazing. They help me out in whatever it is I need, whether it's putting a job in or, we're missing sign-in sheets, whatever it is. They are absolutely awesome. They're there for me. They're perfect, That's why I always like to work as a team with everybody. When I was a special ed assistant, that's the one thing that I didn't like about, not really my job. I love my job. I did it well, and I'm proud of it. And I'm also proud that I'm now an early ed teacher. But the one thing that I didn't really like was that whoever was above me, even now, like we have superior like head teachers, and they think, you know, they matter, you don't. So yeah, it's a little bit different when you're a teacher because you are valued highly since you do make a difference in your life of a child. But I also say assistants too. You guys also help make a difference in a student life, and you do it just in a different way. You do it from being an assistant, and we do it from being a teacher. So yeah. Pet peeve number 2. This is number 1. Now we're gonna do number 2. I love it when people interact with other people from different departments and different professions. This way you really get a point of view. And I really tried to do that when I was a special ed assistant, especially now that I'm early a teacher. I not only make a conscious effort to network with teachers, I network with principals, with downtown, with my assistants, special ed teachers still. I network with everybody. But it boggles my mind when I catch in the lunchroom like assistants talking to assistants, and then parents talking to parents, and then teachers talking to teachers. Sometimes we have parent volunteers that'll sit there and be on their phone, they're talking to family members. Like, we're all there, we're all a community. That's why schools are the best thing that your child can have in their life. It's because they should be able to look up to anybody, to an assistant, to the office managers, to teachers. I know I've worked with this wonderful gal who's an office manager. She really inspired me to look at certain things in a different perspective. When you're a special ed assistant or even a general ed assistant, on Tuesdays in the elementary schools, the kids get out early because there's a staff meeting or a development going on. And sometimes when there's nothing to do in the classroom, we'll help in the office. So I've gotten to do that several times, and I really got that. You know, my eyes were really like, it was a broad horizon to my eyes and everything. I really got to experience what they do, and now I appreciate all their hard work because I've been in their shoe a little bit where you can't find the paperwork, your parents constantly bothering you for something, whatever it may be. Now that I'm an early ed teacher, I've been a teacher now for about a month and a half, and although I'm enjoying my role, there's a lot of new things that I'm still learning, so I'm really proud of that. Which leads me, now that we're done with pet peeve number 1 and 2, now I'm ready on pet peeve number 3. Oh my god, and this one is so good, you guys. Oh my god, so juicy. Alright. Sorry, my eyes are a little bit watery today. I don't know why my eyes are watery. Oh my god. Alright, there we go. Much better. You know, whenever I'm talking to someone who's above me, like a supervisor, administrator, principal, or vice principal, whoever it may be, I'd appreciate it if you guys were honest instead of like, you know, hiding it and not really being truthful. I know there are certain ways to go about it where you don't have to tell me like everything, but you can at least be respectful. So I'll give you an example. When I was a special ed assistant, now by the way, let me kind of take a step back and tell you a little bit about that. When I started from my big school district in my area, I serviced both the Valley area and LA area, so I work for a really big school district. Because of my job and commitment, I'm not going to tell you which school district I work for, but if you want to figure it out on your own and guess, that's fine. I'm not going to like say yes or no, I'm just going to leave it at that. But they weren't hiring for the early ed teaching position, as that's what the credential I got. I have a BA in early childhood education. I have a child development with site supervision permit. It is a credential, but they just call it because they had to basically differentiate themselves between this particular credential and the K through 12 and the college professor credentials, and there's all kinds of different credentials in our school system, and each of them have their own name. So ours is called the Child Development Permit with Site Supervision. You have to have the site supervision. How our state does it is that there are certain classes you have to take, and basically you take them and you get the 12 units I think you need in site supervision. My program, luckily I didn't have to because we did a big capstone, and so a lot of it was already like all this different stuff that we did kind of supplemented the requirements. So I guess I got it. Everything worked out. I'm so excited. So anyways, back to pet peeve number 3. So when I was a special ed assistant for the 3 years I was waiting for an opening for early childhood education, the principal that I worked with, she was the one I worked with when I was permanent, not actually a sub. You have to start out as a sub first. You have to get your 130 days, 600 hours, then they evaluate you, and then you get in. If you want to be regular status, you take the special ed test again. It's basic math, English, and some questions about special ed. If you pass that, then you become regular status, then you work your way up, and they cap you, I think, at whatever amount that they, per hour. I'm not gonna get into that, but anyways. So, we had that, and then I remembered when I was transferring to be an early ed teacher, I wanted to actually, train the new gal to do what she was supposed to do. So I came in and I told her that the specialists, and by the way, the inclusion specialists are teachers that are licensed. They're special ed teachers. They have a full special ed credential. They also have to have all these certificates to handle behavior, NCI training, which is the non-violent crisis interventionist training. So everything that they do, you have to have everything. And then you basically have children to be included in the gen ed mainstream classes. You also work on their behavior. Our school district has 2. We have an inclusionist and then a behavior specialist. That's a teacher who's a special ed teacher, licensed to deal with only behavior. This one they deal with academic work and behavior. So mine, she's really, really wonderful, and she was assigned to my student with a case. And she went up to her, she found out who would be the newbie that would be working with the student when I leave. And then she told her, would I be able to train her? And the gal said, yes, I've already trained her. That's the person I'm giving you. If she has a chance, I'll let her train again. So then she said, oh, but I'm going to put her in there tomorrow, not today. So I came in and said, the teacher and the specialist are urging me to ask you to train her. And they're like, she's like, well, I'm so sorry, I haven't decided. That's where it kind of got me. It got me the fact that she was honest to the inclusionist, but she wasn't upfront with me. She could have just said, I am thinking about putting her in there. That's what I told the inclusionist. However, I'm still not 100% sure. Would it be okay if you don't train her today? If you stop by tomorrow, maybe I'll allow you to train her, and that will be fine. But unfortunately, she didn't really let me do that. So I was like, okay. So my whole thing is be honest and upfront, but do it in a really, really professional manner. Don't let anybody dictate to you and tell you what to do or whatever, Instead of just lying about it, just say, what, I'm not really sure. I'm still thinking about it. That's a better response. So this one brings me to pet peeve number 4. I've encountered how many parents, they complain, they say that this is what they saw, they didn't like. Before you judge any scenario, anything that happened, whatever, question and ask what happened, And if it really, really seems like something that it bothered you, go ahead and, just take care of it in a really, really, professional manner, too. I know you guys are not educated, and yes, we're responsible, and you come to us for advice. You thank us for caring for your child in a really, really professional mannerism. However, please, please don't complain to us before getting the facts straight and the story. I'll give you a brief example. My husband worked at a school. This one parent wasn't comfortable that he was a male teacher, had the daughter of hers make up a lie and say that, he did something. And obviously it was all clear, and I'll just leave it at that. But instead of, accusing, get the facts and say, you know what, I feel a little bit uncomfortable that you're a male teacher. Would it be okay if we met maybe a little bit after school? I got to know you a little bit better and felt comfortable, And this is when my husband was a sub. Now that he's permanent, he's learned how to work with parents and make them feel at ease that he is a male teacher. I have to get going. I'm going to end my blog here. Oh, by the way, real quick. I wanted to give you guys about Back to School Night Open House. Back to school night is traditionally a night where parents are invited to learn about the child's schedule, what they're going to be learning about in the new year, share with them progress, and it's also a good feedback. If your child is already starting to struggle at the beginning of the year, this is a great way to help your child to establish that parent-teacher and child relationship so that you can correct the problems beforehand. I don't know why my eyes are so watery today. Oh, I apologize about that. But anyways, I feel so much better now. Oh my God. Okay. My mom, when she used to go to back to school nights, she'd always take notes on the schedule, what we're going to learn that year. And she met with my teachers and she found out that, you know, I'm doing well, but I need to work on this and that. And we work on it. And that's the best thing you can do with your child, is let them know that you're not there to punish them if they're not doing well, but you're their supporter, their advocate, and you want to make sure that they do well. So when they go to college, that's something that they look for, is that your child does well in school, he's doing extracurricular activities, maybe learning another language, doing sports, art, dancing, whatever. Sorry, I had a little bit of a hiccup or a burp, you call it, so I do apologize for that in my video, but anyways. An open house is really to showcase your child's work and to see all the progress that they've made through the whole year. So I hope this video gave you a tip and guide to education. I've talked about some pet peeves. Please subscribe to my channel, Art and Teacher. Don't forget to watch my other videos, and I look forward to making new and more exciting videos for all of you. So thanks for watching. Bye.